The music industry woke up to groundbreaking news this week. Park Jimin, vocalist and dancer of BTS, has officially rewritten Billboard history with his solo track Who. The song, released earlier this year as part of his solo endeavors, has now spent an unprecedented number of weeks on the Billboard Hot 100, surpassing BTS's legendary hit Dynamite. For fans and critics alike, this achievement not only cements Jimin's status as a global icon, but also sets a new standard for what K-pop soloists can achieve in the international music landscape. Who was initially released with modest expectations. While Jimin had already proven his solo power with Like Crazy and Set Me Free PT2, few anticipated that Who would become a cultural and chart-topping juggernaut. Its haunting production, layered vocals, and emotional storytelling resonated deeply with listeners across demographics. Unlike the flashy energy of Dynamite, Who struck a more introspective chord, something that gave it longevity on streaming platforms, radio rotations, and global charts. The song's global resonance can be attributed to its universal themes of identity, loss, and self-discovery. Listeners from Seoul to Sao Paulo, from Los Angeles to Lagos, connected with the emotional vulnerability embedded in Jimin's delivery. Social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram played a crucial role, as thousands of fan edits, dance interpretations, and reaction videos pushed the track into viral status week after week. In many ways, Who became more than just a song. It became a global conversation. At Billboard's Hot 100 is widely considered the gold standard for music success in the United States, and by extension, the world. For Who to not only chart but sustain its position longer than BTS's Dynamite, a track that defined the global rise of K-pop, marks a significant shift. According to Billboard's official data, Who maintained consistent digital sales, steady streaming numbers, and increasing radio airplay, all of which contributed to its unprecedented longevity. Industry insiders credit its slow burn effect, where instead of peaking early, it grew steadily and maintained relevance over months. When Dynamite was released in 2020, it was hailed as BTS's gateway into global mainstream recognition, topping the Billboard Hot 100 multiple times and breaking language barriers for non-English tracks. For Jimin to surpass that record with his solo work is both a deeply personal and collective victory. It represents the evolution of BTS members as independent artists, while still carrying the group's legacy. For fans, the moment was bittersweet. Dynamite was once the crown jewel of their collective achievements, but seeing Jimin break that record only reinforced the idea that BTS's impact is expanding in new directions. The global BTS fandom, known as ARMY, erupted in celebration as the news broke. Social media timelines flooded with hashtags such as #JiminBillboardKing and #WhoMadeHistory. Emotional posts reflected the pride, joy, and even tears of fans who had supported Jimin since his trainee days. Many expressed that this achievement felt like a personal victory, given how Jimin often doubted himself as a songwriter and soloist. Fan projects, digital billboards, and charity campaigns quickly emerged worldwide to honor the milestone, proving once again that ARMY is not just a fandom but a global movement. Music critics and analysts were quick to weigh in on Jimin's Billboard triumph. Some argued that Who's success is a natural evolution of the globalization of pop, while others emphasized Jimin's unique vocal color and artistry as key factors. Billboard editors highlighted the rare balance between commercial viability and artistic authenticity in the track, suggesting that this balance allowed it to thrive on both streaming playlists and critical reviews. Korean media outlets, meanwhile, hailed Jimin as a pioneer redefining K-pop solo narrative. Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube were instrumental in propelling Who's longevity. The track consistently ranked in the top 10 global streaming charts for months, often competing with Western heavyweights like Taylor Swift, Drake, and The Weeknd. Unlike many viral hits that fade quickly, Who became a playlist staple for genres ranging from pop and R&B to lo-fi study tracks. The algorithm-driven world of streaming rewarded the song's repeatability, with listeners often replaying it multiple times due to its emotional pull. Beyond the numbers, Who has left a cultural footprint. Universities included the track in discussions of modern K-pop's artistic growth, while mental health advocates praised its lyrical exploration of identity and self-questioning. Several TikTok trends used the song to soundtrack stories of personal struggle and resilience. For many, Jimin's vulnerability created a safe space where listeners felt seen and understood. This cultural impact ensured that the song's life extended far beyond typical chart metrics. Jimin's achievement signals a new era for K-pop. While groups have historically dominated international charts, soloists are now carving out their own legacies. With Who, Jimin proved that individual artistry can coexist with group identity, paving the way for future soloists to dream bigger. Industry experts predict that K-pop companies may now invest more heavily in solo projects, recognizing the global appetite for diverse voices within the genre. By surpassing Dynamite, Jimin entered conversations typically reserved for global megastars. Analysts compared his Billboard run with the likes of Adele's Someone Like You and The Weeknd's Blinding Lights, both of which dominated charts due to emotional depth and wide appeal. Such comparisons underscore Jimin's transition from member of BTS to artist in his own right, a distinction that elevates not only his career but the perception of K-pop worldwide. According to insiders close to the production, Jimin was deeply involved in shaping Who. From lyric revisions to vocal arrangements, he contributed significantly to the final outcome. Producers described him as meticulous, often spending long hours perfecting emotional delivery. This creative involvement challenged the stereotype that K-pop idols are merely performers of pre-packaged songs, instead portraying Jimin as a true artist invested in storytelling. HYB, BTS's agency, responded to the Billboard news with celebratory statements, emphasizing their pride in Jimin's growth. At the same time, industry insiders speculate that HYB will leverage this momentum for future solo and group projects. Already, rumors swirl about special editions of Who, collaborations with Western artists, and even a potential solo tour. The agency's handling of this milestone may shape not only Jimin's future but also HYB's positioning in the global music market. While Jimin's success as a soloist is monumental, it also reflects positively on BTS as a whole. Members Jungkook, RM, and Suga have also achieved solo milestones, but Jimin breaking Billboard's long-standing record elevates the group's collective legacy. Industry watchers believe that once BTS reunites post-military service, the combination of their individual growth will result in an even stronger group comeback. Jimin's triumph becomes not just his own but a foreshadowing of BTS's next chapter as Who continues to chart and break records. One thing is clear: Jimin has secured his place in music history. No longer defined solely as the BTS member with the angelic voice, he is now recognized as an independent artist capable of global impact. Whether future projects replicate the success of Who or not, this milestone will remain etched in history books as the moment Jimin became a symbol of K-pop's boundless potential. For fans and industry alike, the question is no longer who is Jimin. The world already knows. As soon as the news broke, major international outlets, from Billboard and Rolling Stone to The Guardian and Naver News, highlighted Jimin's record-breaking feat. Headlines such as "Jimin rewrites K-pop history with Who" dominated trending sections worldwide. In Latin America, where BTS has an enormous following, TV networks ran special features analyzing the song's cultural influence. Meanwhile, in South Korea, national broadcasters described Jimin's achievement as a national pride moment, underscoring the country's growing influence in the global cultural economy. Jimin's peers in the music industry were quick to congratulate him. International artists like Halsey, Khalid, and Troye Sivan, who have previously expressed admiration for BTS, took to social media to praise his artistry. Korean musicians also joined the celebration, with senior artists noting how rare it is for a solo act from Asia to dominate the US charts. One industry veteran remarked, "Jimin's success opens doors for all of us. He's proving that our voices can resonate far beyond our borders." Behind the celebration lies the business of music. Jimin's Who has generated millions in revenue from streaming royalties, digital downloads, and licensing deals. Analysts estimate that the track alone has boosted HYB's quarterly earnings significantly, given its dominance on global platforms. Merchandise tied to Who, such as limited edition vinyls and fashion collaborations, sold out within hours of release. Marketing experts argue that Jimin's achievement demonstrates the financial sustainability of solo projects, encouraging entertainment companies to diversify their strategies. Interestingly, Jimin's Who has entered academic discourse. University professors in musicology and cultural studies have begun analyzing its lyrics and impact. Some scholars highlight the way the song bridges Eastern and Western musical traditions, blending K-pop's polished production with raw, emotionally charged storytelling. Others emphasize its role in dismantling stereotypes of K-pop as manufactured pop, showing instead that its stars are capable of deep, meaningful artistry. Seminars and conferences have even begun framing Jimin's success as part of the broader conversation about globalization and cultural hybridity. With Who now firmly etched into history, the question remains, what comes next for Jimin? Industry insiders predict a solo world tour, possible Grammy nominations, and even collaborations with major Western artists. However, fans and experts alike agree that Jimin's legacy is already secured. Whether his next release matches whose success or explores an entirely different artistic path, he has already changed the landscape for K-pop and for Asian artists globally. His name will forever be linked with resilience, artistry, and the rewriting of musical history.